Hello and welcome to Community Cast number 41. I'm your host, the vocal terrorist Jesse Rain of Clan Mythology. And we're here with game number 3 in a best of 5 series between these two Protoss players. First up, representing Team Betamaxx, we have the Orange Protoss, who is right now 2 games up. He is 1 win away from taking a clean sweep in this series. His name is Wolfy. And opposing him is our wonderful Blue Protoss, professional golf player and coach, Magico. So this is the second time I've recorded this. I recorded it just before, and then for some reason it did not actually record. Everything went like it was recording, but then the file was 0 kilobytes large. So that's frustrating. Apologies guys if my commentary's a bit off. I've just seen this game and I know what's going to happen. But I mean, I was pretty good in my calls anyway before, as I'm sure you'll all know, with me being the greatest analysis ever. Greatest analysis ever. The greatest analyst ever. Lol words. So, a little bit of backstory again for these players. If you haven't watched the previous 2, well, why? Because guys, this is game 3. Don't watch it before game 1 and 2. That's silly. What are you doing? I'm looking at you disappointedly now. No, I'm not really. I don't have the energy for that. But yes. Betamaxx's Wolfy is making the step from amateur to semi-pro. He's on a team, he's practicing hard, he's doing his best to get up the leagues, and he's now entering tournaments with the goal of winning actual, genuine prize money. Magico, meanwhile, excuse me, is very much an amateur player. He plays for fun, he wants to get better, but his goal is just to enjoy StarCraft 2. I can't breathe now. Frustration. But yes, his goal is to enjoy life and enjoy StarCraft 2. Of course, he still wants to improve. He wants to get better, like everyone who plays StarCraft 2 does. And that's why this best of 5 series is so much fun. We get to see how much Wolfy's improved since the first time we casted him way back in the early days of Community Cast. And we also get to see how Magico holds up as a player against someone who is a tier above him, shall we say. So, Magico going for the traditional 2-gate opening, where you get the second gate at 19, you chrono boost out the Stalkers and Warp Gate. Wolfy, meanwhile, going for the delayed 2-gate, getting that second gate at 24 food. And then we'll likely be going into the Stargate. This is the opening you see from players getting that delayed gateway. They're the delayed second gateway. And I should mention, because I know there are some of you who watch this who don't normally watch StarCraft games or other RTS games and haven't really followed the history. When I refer to food, I'm referring to these numbers here, or as you can see up here, which in StarCraft 2 is known as your supply count. I come from a background of Warcraft playing. That was really, alongside Command & Conquer, that was my first RTS, but Warcraft was my first multiplayer RTS. And in that you build, is it farms? My memory fails me, but I'm pretty sure you build farms or something to feed your army, and that's how you increase your max army. So these were known as food counts, and it's a hard habit to break calling them that. So if you hear me referring to that, that is what I'm talking about. Magico's going to be going for the Robo facility off the back of 3 gates. Going to allow him to get Immortals out and really put some pressure on the front of Wolfy, especially if he tries too fast to expand. Both armies have missed one another at this point. Wolfy, though, just checking to see if he can see a fast nexus. As it is, he scouts that probe going out, so he knows there's going to be some kind of pressure. Magico's going to start to come up here. It's 3 Stalkers versus 1 and a Mothership Core, but Mothership Cores are really good. So Magico is going to back off there, especially with a Time Warp on the ramp and 2 more Stalkers coming in. With no forward pylon at this point, it's only going up now, Magico will be unable to reinforce quickly. As it is, he's going to wait for that to go up, though, before warping into 3 more Stalkers. Oh no, he will warp them in at home and then rallying them across the map. I think with their walking speed, it's... would it be quicker? Let's find out. Let's have a relax and find out. Boom, boom, boom. Not that much quicker, and obviously it gets your production cycle going more. So yeah, I'd say that's the right idea by Magico. Now, Chrono Boosted Phoenix is coming out for Wolfy. And what is Magico going to have at home to defend? Well, the answer is a Mothership Core. So if these Phoenixes were to fly over here right now, not only do they get a snipe on the Mothership Core, they may get some probes. Although, of course, we do have that photon overcharge ability, which is really, really nice. Good force field there by Wolfy because there's no Zealots. It doesn't matter exactly the placement. These Stalkers of Magico held off, but right now they are only held off. That's it. Looking at the way this is going, and with the money Magico has, I suggest he just puts a Nexus down. Like, right now, just forget about this. Forget about this attack. Don't try and kill your opponent up a ramp. Get a Nexus down. Pretend to be attacking. Keep poking in here with Stalkers, stopping him from taking his expansion. But don't actually make any more here. Start making them at home when you can afford them. And then eventually, when it looks like you can't keep up the container anymore, run all your Stalkers home and you're perfectly safe. But Magico is in fact sending that Mothership Core across the map, so he wants to continue this aggression very, very much. And now we have Phoenixes on the move, heading up the left side of the map. Will be spotted though by this probe of Magico. Unfortunate. And of course that means Magico should be getting ready to defend at home. Wolfy meanwhile moving down his ramp and putting up this expansion. He knows that forward pylon was going down though, so he's got to start to be worried. He's been contained for a long time though. Does not know what his opponent is at. So Phoenixes come into the main base now. Going to pick up the two Stalkers there, ready and waiting, and start to kill another one. But another Stalker being warped in means goodbye Phoenixes. You've got to get out of there. Those Phoenixes did nothing. And now Magico going to press the attack here. Now this is a nice attack from him. Time warps going down from both players. That Mothership Core of Wolfy's will fall. And with this Immortal, Magico should be able to push through these units and force a cancel, which he does. So, Wolfy now in a situation where he lost a good chunk of his army. His Phoenixes did no real damage. And now he's back up in his main base again. Magico's going to keep up the pressure, but I think now is the time, yep. Finally going to get that Nexus down after forcing a cancel out of Wolfy. So also a good timing to do this. Start to build up your economy. And this is where you want to do what I said yesterday. What I said earlier. And man, I saw the G.I. Joe film, and now every time I look at them all I can see is the Cobra Commander symbol. So now you want to fake some pressure here. You want to go in and do this, and then you want to pull back. Great stuff by Magico there. That's all you're looking to do. Force him back up his ramp, pull back. Force him back up his ramp, pull back. Do not engage. Do not really try and fight him, because you've spent 400 minerals on this Nexus that he's spent on units. Nice! Nearly snipes a Phoenix, but it does take some more hull damage. So it will be even harder for Wolfy to continue to engage in the future. So Magico's sitting in a really nice position here. There's not much Wolfy can do to put pressure on his base to force him home, and this expansion is almost done. Let's take a quick look at the unit counting station. Right now Wolfy is very far behind. He's 8 probes behind at this point in the game, which is a real problem in a mirror matchup. You want to stay as close as you can in worker counts. The Twilight Council is on the way for Magico, and a nice transfer of probes there. And Magico goes in again for an attack, but this time it's a full-on commitment, and I don't know if that's wise. The first Immortal's picked up, not doing the damage. These Zealots are getting in range and starting to really hit these Stalkers, and Magico's going to lose what looks to be his entire army here. Terrible, terrible move by Magico. Like I said before, you do not want to be getting in here. He warps in 3 more Stalkers just to get them killed. He needs to get out of there, especially without an Immortal. So Magico now is in some trouble, despite having this expansion up and Wolfy not having one. Wolfy's got a decent sized army still, and Magico doesn't. Magico's got 6 Stalkers and an Immortal, whereas his opponent has an Oracle, 2 Sentries, 3 Phoenixes, a Void Race, 8 Stalkers, an Immortal, and a Zealot, and now even getting in some real damage on this Immortal, going past the shield damage without losing his Phoenix. Oh, nice. Will he lose that? Okay, he loses one Phoenix, but this is taking some serious damage. It's over half its health. Is gone already, but now gets out because he knows he can't continue to damage it with only one Stalker. But this sets Wolfy up to do an absolutely fantastic push across the map and take this army out and take this expansion out. And that's what he needs to do. It's way too late for Wolfy to just be throwing up an expansion. He needs to do some damage. The expansion will go up just in case he's unable to kill his opponent. But the goal here is very much destroy this, destroy this. Do not let Magico retain that worker lead. It's 39 to 25. If Wolfy leaves him alone, Magico is just able to outproduce him. Even if his tech, even if his unit composition is worse, he will simply have more units than his opponent, and the damage output will be too much for Wolfy to deal with. So Wolfy needs to get in here while his army is still small because of Magico losing it in a very, very bad attack, and do the damage. So here comes that damage. Decent force fields there, but only one Stalker really being kept out of things. But simply put, Wolfy has way too many units here for Magico to hold off. And what a great force field! Stalkers, you are not going up that ramp. No way, no how. And Wolfy really churning out the damage here. This Void Ray not currently using its charge down, will die before it gets to use it. So that's some poor control. Could have at the very least pulled it back. But it's not going to matter a great deal because all of this army of Magico is dead now. We are at 75 supply to 38. That is where we are. This expansion is gone. Wolfy's is up. Do we have a mothership core? Yeah, we do have a mothership core with enough for a photon overcharge. So this attack will be stopped at this point in time. Did you get many worker kills there? Yep, 21. Perfect. So Wolfy now is kind of trapped in the corner of this base. With that photon overcharge, he's not able to move up into here. It would not shock me to see him move down this ramp and just hold a contain on here while building up another army at home. As we can see, he's not rallying units across the map. He doesn't have a forward pylon down. He's just building up a force at home, so we can't be counter-attacked. Nothing shifty's going to go on. So, while this forward pylon, great idea from Magico, it's not going to actually affect the outcome of this game because Wolfy has plenty at home to hold off, and now Wolfy is the man in a great position. 10 probe lead, and Magico Magico trying to get him to come in and attack. And that Oracle there with a great reveal means Wolfy can see exactly what his opponent's up to. This Phoenix trying to get a kill in on the mothership core, but not going to manage it. This Immortal will fall. Not a great move in by Wolfy. He's very trapped in here. Wouldn't mind seeing him just come up here and start hitting things where he's got more room to manoeuvre. There's now the Zealots can get in. The Force Fields are not good, trapping the Zealots in with the sentries instead of away from them, losing all of his sentries in that attack and finally losing this entire army. However, this is not as big a deal for Wolfy as it was for Magico because he hasn't been constantly reinforcing. He's been warping in units at home. If we take a quick look, he's already got more Stalkers than his opponent, and he has an extra Immortal as well. No new Mothership core for Wolfy. I don't feel like he needs it at this point. He knows the advantage he has. Still has an Observer hovering over the army of Magico as well, able to see exactly what's happening. Looks like Magico wants to take another base, given that he's got 400 minerals. Boom, that base goes down, and this Observer sees it, and I think we all know what that's going to trigger. That's going to trigger this probe. Not to single-handedly Rambo his opponent's base, but to drop a proxy pylon. Here comes the army now behind it with the last warpins at home. Wolfy is just going to come and crush this. Magico's tried to spend 400 minerals on an expansion, not replenishing his army, while Wolfy has done nothing but build more and more Stalkers and Sentries. He's going to have the much better time attacking into this army. If Magico can hold this, Magico is a god among men. He's going to do his absolute best, of course, but this is a big old chunk of army heading towards them. It's currently got +1 armor to Magico's +1 attacks, and they negate. It's all about the sheer numbers and the tactical engagement. The only advantage Magico has is this time warp ability. This Nexus will not finish in time for a photon overcharge. He needs to keep this base up. He needs to defend it somehow, but it's not going to happen. The Mothership core goes down. Great time warp, but the sheer pressure of numbers here is going to kill Magico. Another good force field on that ramp though by Wolfy. He's really got that down. And now this Stalker will fall, this base will fall, and Magico, I am afraid, at 16 supply will be falling. Wolfy of Team Betamaxx is going to be taking this in a complete clean sweep 3-0. Congratulations to Wolfy. Commiserations to Magico, but that was a really, really good best-of-5 series, despite the fact they went 3-0. And I think Magico is going to learn a lot from rewatching these replays. Magico's big problem was way back over here. When he first had Wolfy contained, was committing to an attack after expanding. Losing that army allowed Wolfy to counter-attack perfectly and then take control of the game. Without that, Magico has full control of the game and is able to attack up to whatever he wants and get the increased production over Wolfy. Nonetheless, that is it for today. Come back tomorrow where we'll have a replay from the wonderful Creeper. I've got 2 more replays for Sarcasm Gaming, and then I'm going to need some more. So guys, do not forget to send me your wonderful replays to www, not to our bloody website, to voctagaming@gmail.com. And if you want to see more from my StarCraft 2 casting, head over to youtube.com/voctagaming, where later on today you'll be seeing the first uploads in a series called Mythcast, where I cast replays from the wonderful players on my StarCraft 2 team, Mythology. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon. No doubt. Have a wonderful day.